Hello there. Welcome back. My name is Lightworker Whit, and I'm so excited to get into your new moon reading in Leo for 2025. Now, I know I've been a little MIA, but I've been really busy. Between my part-time job, I've been really booked with my client Amante 1530. If you are an aperitif fan similar to Aperol Spritz, definitely check out that spirit. I've been doing a lot of work with them on Italy. If you guys follow me on social media, I've been posting them on my story. And I've had a couple other events. It's just been a really busy July. So the content, unfortunately, sometimes takes a back burner when that happens, but all the more reason to become a subscriber so you can have access to my monthly forecasts. And I've, of course, catering to my paying clients as well. Not to say I don't care about you, because I care about you. But in the grand scheme of things, I have to prioritize. So I apologize that I did not get out my video for rest of July, but it is what it is. Also, you're getting barefaced Whitney today. I did a workout this morning, which is like the first one I did in a long time. I did a steam, I did a face treatment, so I didn't want to put on makeup. So this is what you're getting, okay? I'm showing up. I'm showing up. I'm showing up. That's what's most important, okay? All right, so I know a lot of people are like, they're not really talking about the new moon. Everybody's really freaking out about this Mercury retrograde in Leo. I'm really not too concerned about it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get my panties in a bunch every Mercury retrograde. I'm really not. I'm really not. And speaking as a Leo sun, Mercury retrogrades are always going to bring some sort of unexpected energy. That is to be expected. But I really lean more now towards what can I learn from Mercury retrograde? What do I need to revisit? What can I do differently? How can I improve upon something? If you're interested and want to learn more about Mercury retrograde, there's a video on my page called How to Survive Mercury Retrograde. I do swear a lot in that video. I don't know why, but a few years ago, I swear a lot now, but it was really bad. Like I just was cussing up a storm through that video. So I'm really sorry. I should probably redo that video, but the information is still valid. So feel free to check that out. But I also have a spread on my Pinterest. Maybe I'll insert it here. A spread that I created on how to survive Mercury retrograde. Maybe I'll do a collective reading on that. Actually, I might do a collective reading on that. We'll see. Even though I know Mercury retrograde just started, but if you read for yourself, I haven't even done it for myself yet, but feel free to if you want to know how you can work with this energy instead of against it, right? But today we're talking about the new moon in Leo. So if you're new here, I typically like to use a spread by Biddy Tarot, and I'm looking at my external monitor here, but I'm going to show it on the screen. And the spread is a 6-card spread. What have I released? Where am I now? What is emerging within me? What do I wish to grow? How can I bring my goals and intentions to fruition? And what additional resources are available to me as I manifest my goals? I really like this spread. I feel it really has been helpful, not only to me, but hopefully my followers. If you're not a first-time subscriber, if you've been here for a while, feel free to comment below and let me know if you like this spread or if we need to change it up. I feel like it really helps give a broader view of what to expect for the new moon, but also the 2 weeks leading up to the full moon, in my personal opinion. Before we get started, I want to get an oracle message from the Queen of the Moon Oracle to see what the overall theme of this new moon in Leo is. Now remember, we're ushering in a new beginning. So 6 months from now, I feel like the full moon in Leo is usually in January, I feel like. So this new moon is sparking a new cycle, just with all new moons. So let's see what it is that we'll be growing through as we lead up to the full moon in Leo, okay? All right, let's look. Oh, that didn't take long. Abundance. I love to see it. I'm not even going to reach. I didn't get a really good shuffle on there, but you guys have seen me shuffling throughout. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this as our message. I love when this card comes out. This one and fruition. I like when the fruition card comes out. Okay, 38. I swear if I was a pastor, I'd probably be a prosperity teacher, prosperity pastor. Okay, let's see. Okay. Take advantage of this time of abundance. It is all around you. Possibility and opportunity are everywhere. You are open and responsive to the abundance around you. There is enough for everyone. The affirmation is, I am abundant and I am surrounded by opportunity. The hunter moon is the traditional moon of plenty. It is when game was at its most plentiful. Game as in hunting, like animals. So the people would not go hungry. The moon was large and bright in the sky, and in some cases deep orange, and there was a great deal of light to go hunting well into the evening. Our ancient ancestors couldn't just go off to the supermarket to buy what they needed to eat. Meat didn't come on trays wrapped in plastic. Eggs were gathered. Warm clothing was made from skins of the same animals that were hunted for meat. Nothing was wasted. This abundance was part of a cycle just like any other. It wasn't present all the time, so this time of the year was to be taken advantage of while the going was good. The barrenness of winter would soon return. Hunters had to be prepared. They had to have their weapons ready and their tracking skills honed. As modern people, we are less used to these natural cycles of plenty and barrenness because most of us have stepped away from growing food in the natural environment. However, these cycles are still there, even if we are not part of them consciously. This moon normally rises in October in the northern hemisphere, and so was before the winter snows. The companion stone is citrine, which I do actually have here next to me. This is one of my favorite crystals. I just happened to have it. I wasn't actually prepared for this. I love that this message is here. I also like the message of they had to take advantage while the going was good. And I think that's a really important message here. You guys know I follow the Hood Healer, and I was on her live. I subscribed to her Substack, and she's been doing a bunch of lives lately. And I haven't listened to all of them in entirety, but she has talked about how a lot of people's issues have been financial this year. And I agree, including my own, and I think there is something too, right? There's like this FOMO of wanting to have a good summer and like indulge and have vacations and do the things, but like people's money is tight. And so with this abundance card, right, this would suggest, if you're watching this video, and this is my prayer, if this is coming to you and reaching your energy, that you do, number one, experience a level of abundance, but also that you steward your money well, right? Like when we get an influence, let's not blow it on a vacation. Let's not blow it on a total wardrobe revamp. Maybe we get one or two pieces. Maybe we do a staycation because we need a little bit to save and put away for winter. Because yes, okay, we're able to eat now and be full now, but like what happens when things kind of dry up? And that could be transferable to any people. Maybe you work in sales. Maybe you're getting a ton of commission right now, but like in the winter, you can anticipate a slowdown. For me, I've been doing this business now for long enough. I know that my busy season is from May to September. My busiest month is October. And after October, I'm pretty slow from November to April, which is why I plan to do my tarot course in November into December, because that's when I know I have the time. I'm not going to be running up and down the highway. So you have to work with yourself and work with the seasons, even though we don't have traditional seasons like we used to have of like hunting season and whatever. We still have seasons in different ways, right? Where people are on vacation this time of year and you know when people are going to be indoors. How can you prepare yourself? How can you put money away to know you're going to have gifts for the people you want to gift around the holiday season, or to do traveling around the holiday season? What can you put away now for later without completely starving yourself of experiences now, you know? So figure out that balance while you have the abundance, okay? I hope that's helpful. All right, so with that being said, if you want to work with me one-on-one, all of the links you need are below. If you'd like to become a Lightkeeper, the link is also below. And by becoming a Lightkeeper, you have exclusive access to my monthly forecast. I will be working on August's forecasts within the next day or so. Probably, if not Thursday, probably Saturday. I'll probably be working on them. But join, I encourage you. They'll be there for you. I don't really have anything else. I'm not going to solicit you. If you want to work with me, you know how to get in touch. I love you. Let's go ahead and jump into Aries. I almost forgot. Thank you to all of my Lightkeepers for supporting my channel and being here. You guys are amazing. I should have added new names in here, but if I didn't, I'm sorry in advance. I love you so much. Thank you for being a Lightkeeper. You guys hold a special place in my heart. And if you'd like to become a Lightkeeper, the link is below. Okay, Aries, I do feel like I have some similar cards from your full moon reading, but I haven't checked. So I'm going to try not to I'm going to actually consciously try not to focus on it so this reading can be its own, but I feel like I have some similar cards here. Okay, what have you released? We've got the Queen of Wands here. Queen of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This could represent a few things separate from the fire signs they represent. This could be representative of you putting your charisma charismatic energy out into the world. Maybe you've kind of stepped back into yourself if you have felt disconnected from yourself. This could be releasing someone altogether, maybe a fire sign female or just a fire sign in general, maybe with some feminine energy, masculine or feminine. This could also be releasing manifestations as well. Like when I think about release, the more I've worked with this spread, the more I start to think about released as twofold. So there's released as in what have I let go, but there's released as in what energy have I put out into the world. So I've started to look at it a little differently, and I really do feel like it could be either or. So there could be this energy of you having put out this manifestation energy into the world, this charismatic energy out into the world, and I am feeling like that's the message. Otherwise, I would say this is you releasing a fellow fire sign or a fellow female that was maybe, ooh, this is coming through. I don't know if there was a woman in your life that you were slightly envious of, or maybe you felt they were envious of you. There's some jealousy here. And I don't know if it's because I've been watching The Hunting Wives. I just started watching that show, so I don't know if that's why that's top of mind. But what's coming through, Aries, is needing to distance yourself from someone who was getting too close to comfort in a way that felt threatening. Does that make sense to you? Let me know. Where are you now? Eight of Cups. We're needing some time alone. The Eight of Cups frequently represents walking away, but it can also represent the need for alone time in isolation and needing just some time to reflect. Very similar to the Hermit card, right? Needing just to be alone and gather yourself. This could also be, I don't use reversals in this deck, so this could also be a message, Aries, of like maybe giving something one last chance before you completely give up on it, whether their job, whether a relationship, whether a project. What is emerging within you? Queen of Swords energy. I think I need to close that window. Queen of Swords energy is air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but this is also symbolizing to me you stepping into a more logical headspace, you stepping into an energy where you're more clear-headed and you're... Sorry, I really need to close that window. I've got some candles going, which is why I have the windows open, because whenever I'm doing spiritual work, whenever I'm doing ritual work, I like to have a window open, but I'll close it for right now. This is to me you stepping out of emotional energy and kind of becoming more clear-headed about your situation and eliminating the emotions around your situation. This could also represent maybe a progression in your career somehow. What you wish to grow, Seven of Pentacles. To me, this is that you really want to invest, something that you've been investing time and energy into, you want to see results from. It feels like you've been working hard at something but haven't been seeing results. So you really want to see a harvest. That makes sense. How you can bring your goals and intention to fruition. We have the Eight of Swords here. This is about getting your head, I wanted to say getting your head out of your ass. Okay, Spirit, getting your head out of your ass. But this is also about eliminating the negative self-talk, eliminating yourself from that mental jail that maybe you're in. And again, like, I feel like, Aries, you've been talking down to yourself. I feel like you've been like, who am I to want this? And who am I to manifest that? And it's not possible. And I'm reaching too big. I feel like you're talking yourself out of your own goals. That's what I'm hearing here. And there's a lot of comparison, a lot of comparison here. So work on that. And I want you to focus on an affirmation this new moon that you can hold on to. And let it be simple. My feelings are valid, but my dreams are possible. You know, something like that. Like, even though my feelings are valid, I still believe my dreams are possible. Something really simple that kind of just pushes you out of that headspace. Okay, work on that. Something short that you can easily remember. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We have the Two of Cups here, partnerships, divine union, connection. This could be romantic or platonic or professional or familial. There's a significant connection in your life that will help you. And it even could be, Aries, that it's just a connection that that just motivates you, like somebody who maybe is pouring into you. Maybe they're not like giving you anything or doing anything important for you, but they're just like a really good emotional safe space for you that is encouraging you to move forward and get out of your slump. Okay. Okay, so focus on that connect. It could be a best friend, you know, that you just spend time with this new moon. Or maybe a friend that maybe you get closer with that helps you through this difficult time, this emotional period, this mental negative self-talk period. You're going to come out of it, Aries, but I think you need to lean on your friendships and your connections to get out of it. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that's helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well. I'm going to go ahead and clear this up and we'll move on to Taurus. All right, Taurus, here we go. What have you released? We have the Two of Swords. So there may have been something that you've been indecisive about these past couple weeks, and it seems as if you've finally made a decision. Again, the release card could be what you've put out in the world versus what you have let go of. So I try to interpret them for both. But with the Two of Swords here, to me, this feels like you finally made a decision on something. Feels like you finally made an important decision if you've been waffling back and forth on something. Where you are now, we've got the King of Swords. King of Swords is air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It also represents being a subject matter expert on something, being very logical, being very clear-headed, being very wise, and devoid of emotional decisions. This could also represent the presence of an air sign in your life that you are currently entertaining. Platonic, romantic, or otherwise, okay? But it feels like you're now in a very clear-headed space after having finally made what seems to be, to me, a difficult decision. What is emerging within you? We have the Hangman here. The Hangman often represents the need to pause, to wait, reflect. Sometimes this isn't by choice. Most often it's not by choice. It's either that you're just stuck waiting for answers from somebody else, or you are being put on pause because there's a need for you to slow down and reevaluate your life. I mean, we are in a Mercury retrograde. If you haven't already, feel free to go watch my Mercury retrograde video on my YouTube. It's old, but it's still helpful. The Hangman is also just like a necessary pause to kind of reset a little bit, especially if you've been going really hard at life. Spirit will just put the brakes on your ass. And sometimes that's what happens here with the Hangman, forcing you into patience. Searching for answers as well, and allowing you to reevaluate what you need to let go of or move on from, okay? How do you wish to grow? We have the Two of Wands here. For me, this is telling me you're very future focused, wanting to plan and organize for the future in some way. Laying a foundation, laying a plan, I wanted to say interpreting a vision. Okay. It's not really the message of the Two of Wands, but possibly. Maybe you have a vision for your life and you're trying to figure out how to put it into your 3D reality. You're really eager to advance your life here, to do whatever's next for you. How can you bring your goals and intentions to fruition? We have the Temperance card here. Temperance does represent the sign of Sagittarius in case the Sagittarius is important to you in your life. It also represents moderation, patience, the middle path, and compromise. Also too, like knowing that you're ready to like, I always forget it, but I want to read it to you. It's like a very short paragraph, but it's something about like being ready to level up your life in some way. I just love how this book puts it. I have Janae Aiko. Oh, it's because I saw 4:44 on the clock. I have at 44 minutes to 4, an angel come knocked on my door. You know this song? There's no slowing down. It goes round and round and round. Gotta keep going. Gotta keep going. Yeah. I should really remember the name of the song. There's really no end. There's really no beginning. My singing is like off today, but I don't care. The Temperance card shows that you have a clear long-term vision of what you want to achieve. You are not rushing things along. Instead, you are taking your time to ensure that you do the best job you can. You know that you need a moderate, guided approach to reach your goals. It's touching on how you're learning here. You're learning a great deal where you are now and are at peace with what you're doing. All is coming together well. Because the Temperance is really about balance. It's really about balance, patience, and moderation. And I feel like maybe you now, because again, you want to grow, you want to get onto the next phase of your life, but you're not trying to get there super fast. I mean, in general, Taurus, you're not trying to work very fast, but I feel like now more than usual, you are really like, okay, this might take me X amount of years or X amount of months, but I'm ready to do the work. You know, you can see the investment that it will require and you're ready to take that time, you know? So this is for you, is about being patient with yourself as you're building this new world. Now I'm hearing a whole new world, a whole new world, a magic place I never knew. What? No one to tell no, and where to go. Listen, Disney had the classics. You can't, come on now, because oh, okay. Let me keep going. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We have the Wheel of Fortune here, which is just so lovely, which to me tells me that the work that you're going to put in, the moderation and the patience, is going to pay off, specifically this new moon. You might see some developments happen for you, Taurus, within the next 2 weeks. So that's really, really exciting. You might get a windfall of money or a lucky break or a promotion or a stroke of luck, a stroke of fate. The karmic wheel is on the up cycle for you. Okay. You might be feeling a little stuck, and that's likely due to the Mercury retrograde, but don't let that discourage you. And I think also too, if things start to slow down in terms of progression for things that you're working towards, don't be frustrated by it. Allow yourself to take that time to divert your energy and attention on something else. So let's say that you want to, let's say that you, I want to get really, really specific here. Let's say that you have been, something around housing is coming up, but I'm really trying to catch it. Okay, this is a good example. Let's say you've been waiting to get approved for an apartment or a house, and they just like got you on a string, like you don't know if you're gonna get it. Instead of like stressing out about whether or not you're gonna get approved, take that time to like keep packing, number one, and start decorating the rooms. Operate in expectancy, right? And maybe instead of like fussing around and like trying to go crazy looking for other apartments, use that time to work out. Use that time to work on other things, and just decide and accept that place is already mine. God's already got it covered. I'm going to focus my energy on some other things now that I have the time. I think we as a society spend, as Americans specifically, we spend too much time being anxious when that energy could really be used somewhere else. I really do. I think we waste a lot of time. I'm talking about myself included. I think we waste a lot of time being anxious instead of just transmuting that energy intentionally. Yesterday, I was like a little fucking crazy ball of anxiety, but I decided to clean my home. I was like, you know what? I can't really sit here and wallow. And you know what? I got the hard water stains off of my sliding glass. That's how I transmuted that anxiety. I got the hard water stains off of my sliding glass doors. That didn't take only that wasn't a 2-minute job, okay? That required some elbow grease and some vinegar, okay? I hope this is helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much, Taurus. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, Gemini. I'm so used to having a hat on, I wanted to fix my hat. All right, what have you released? We have the Page of Cups. Now, the Page of Cups can represent the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, but it could also be releasing of somebody who is quite sensitive, somebody who's quite emotional, or letting that person go. In terms of released, as in what energy have you put out in the world? This could be allowing yourself to be more emotional yourself. And I'm being conscious of how I interpret this, because we have released in terms of letting go, and then we have released as in terms of what have you put out in the world, right? And so when I think about that, I think about in terms of what have you put out in the world. The Page of Cups is creativity, it's emotional vulnerability, it's like putting projects out that you're unsure that of how they'll be perceived. It's naive optimism, right? And it's just this vulnerability, really, that I'm getting a sense of that you have put out there. Maybe you're putting yourself out there in some way, Gemini, right? Or, like I said, releasing a water sign or somebody very immature and very sensitive emotionally. Where you are now, Nine of Wands, there's something you are persevering towards, or for, or with. The Nine of Wands is like, there's a few decks that I have that paint this picture more vividly, but this is about feeling like you've gone through so much. You've gone through the jungle. You're a little disheveled. You still got your clothes, but you're still kind of put together, but you're kind of like, ugh, do I want to keep going? I'm tired. And the Nine of Wands is very much a message to keep going, but you are contemplating giving up, whatever that means to you. What is emerging within you? Five of Swords. Even though you're contemplating giving up, the Five of Swords is very much a message that you will keep pushing forward. The Five of Swords is a hard-won victory. It's like you are willing to do whatever it takes to get what you need to get done, okay? So whatever challenges you're experiencing right now, Gemini, you're going to overcome them. Do not fear whatever it is you're hoping for, praying for, believing for. You will accomplish your goal. It's just not going to be easy. It is going to take, I wanted to say risk. It's going to take risk, and it is going to take perseverance, and it is going to take, I want to say, aptitude and resilience. What do you wish to grow? We've got the Three of Pentacles here, which is teamwork, collaboration, working together. You may be wanting to grow in your professional circles. And if you're not thinking work-wise, the Three of Pentacles is teamwork and collaboration, right? Putting your heads together for the common goal. Maybe there's a project you have in your life, and teamwork doesn't have to be three people. It could just be you and another person. Maybe there's a goal you're wanting to move forward with another person. You're wanting to be on the same page as one person or a group of people to push a goal forward. You really want to get everybody on the same page here to get what you need done. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. The Seven of Swords. Being strategic, using your connections, using your wits about you. Okay? The Seven of Swords often represents sneakiness, deceitfulness, but here on my channel, I don't always read it that way. I often read it as using your resources to your advantage, being strategic, being cunning. You got to be wise. You're not going to be able to achieve this Three of Pentacles energy by going about something the tried and true way. We don't have this Hierophant here, okay? What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We've got the Two of Pentacles, balance, stability, comfort. I do feel like you're going to be, I don't know really what your goal is, but I don't think you are going to be suffering as you reach them. Okay. Two of Pentacles is balancing your priorities, balancing your finances, balancing your tasks, kind of keeping a lot of balls in the air. And I do feel like there is a certain agility to you right now that is allowing you to kind of manage a lot of things at once. It may be overwhelming giving the Nine of Wands energy and the Five of Swords, but as we move closer to the full moon, I think you're going to feel a little bit more balanced. I'm not convinced that you are going to reach your goal within the next 2 weeks, but I am convinced that you are making a positive impact or putting a dent in your plan. Does that make sense? Excuse me. Let's see what we get when we shuffle on when you will reach your goal. Let's see what comes out. When is Gemini reaching their goal? We've got 10 of Cups, which is great. I've got 10, March 11th through the 20th, dreams coming true, divine timing, love and fulfillment, big happy family. I look at a few things when I look at timing. I love that we have the 10 of Cups here. That's lovely. Where are we? It's the 22nd. This could also be between 11 and 20 days. Maybe but 11 to 20 days, maybe within 10 days. That would be less than the full moon. Let's see what else we get here. When is Gemini realizing their goals? And then now we have 21 to 30. We have the 5 of Cups. Loss, grief, sadness, emotional healing, and despair. We've got number 5 here. Did I show the other one to you? Did I show this to you? On one hand, we have dreams coming true. On the other hand, we have loss and grief, but I'm trying to pay attention to the timing here. Water energy with the Pisces and the Scorpio. It's not. Tell me. We have 9 of Cups again, and now we have the 8 of Wands. So we keep having winter and fall. Something happening with winter and fall. 21 to 30 again, 1 to 10 again. Number 9. Contentment, wish fulfillment, emotional stability. 8 of Wands, quick action, things moving quickly, moving on. November 21 to the 30. I did have I think this is the Fool. You have the power. Or the Magician. This is the Magician. You have the power to create your own destiny. Do not wait on external factors to get what you want. Take action. Okay, let me look at this in terms of timing. I have 8, 9, 10 here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you are realizing this within 10 days, before the full moon. Because we have 21 to 30, that's significant. So it could be between the 21st and 30th of the month of July. July is not over. And again, we have 11 to 20, 1 to 10, 8, 9, 10. There's something about this kind of like 10-day mark for me that's significant. So I want you to think about that. 10 days, today is the 22nd that I'm recording this. So the 10-day mark is what, August 2nd, give or take? I don't know. All right, so there's going to be something happening within the first few days of August. So be prepared, Gemini. If you're watching this for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising, okay? I love you so much. Let's see what's next for Cancer. All right, Cancer, here we go. What have you released since the full moon? We've got the 5 of Swords here. Now, I'm thinking about released in terms of what have you released in terms of let go, and then what have you released as in what have you released out into the world. The 5 of Swords represents hard-won victories, winning at all costs, sometimes also conflicts. I feel that this is more of an energy that you've put out in the world in terms of like you having a goal and you're going to do your damnedest to achieve it and do whatever it takes to get it done. It's really pushing you to the limit, but you're willing to do what it takes to achieve said goal. This could also be that maybe you released a conflict. If you've had a conflict with someone, you've let it go. That's possible. Maybe you're shifting out of this like hard won victory stage of like doing what you need to do, grinding it out. Maybe you're coming out of that, okay? Where you are now is the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it also represents freedom, exploration, creativity. The Page of Wands is, I mean, all of the pages are messenger cards, right? In some fashion. So other tarot specialists say. I see this more as you being in a creative space, Cancer, of you being in a place where you want to see what you're capable of, you being open to possibility and not needing it to look one way. I think you really are open because you've been grinding for so long towards something that you're trying to be flexible in how you achieve this goal, right? It's also a possibility that maybe there's a fire sign that you're entertaining, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, okay? What is entertaining romantically, platonically, or professionally? What is emerging within you is the King of Pentacles. Love to see that here. That's security, stability, and abundance. It's also earth sign energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Perhaps there's an earth sign that is going to be coming into your life within this new moon cycle that will be important and significant to you. But I mostly think this is about you regaining security in some way, especially maybe if you just took a vacation, maybe you're trying to recoup your finances, maybe you've been applying for jobs and you're trying to get a better one. This to me feels like an increase and a leveling up, okay? What do you wish to grow? We've got the Tower here. The Tower does represent chaos, upheaval, and quick change. Maybe you want to make quick changes to your life. Don't let the imagery scare you. A lot of people think the Tower and they're like, oh no. But also too, as I've worked longer with tarot, I also look at the Tower as your physical home. Yes, I understand that it's on fire, but Spirit is trying to get messages to us in any way possible. And the Tower is really the only card in the tarot deck, with the exception of maybe the Four of Wands, that points towards home, okay? Like a physical building, right? And the Tower here, in terms of what you wish to grow, it feels like there's something you want to change or improve about your home situation, okay? Now, if we're speaking energetically, there might be like a chaotic situation that happened and unfolded in your life that you're just trying to put the fire out. You're just trying to manage your situation and just kind of fix it. So you could be quite literally be in a state of crisis at the time of you're watching this video, and you're just trying to fix it before it spreads and ruins your fucking life. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it could also represent perhaps a love interest, masculine or feminine. The Knights represent an offer of some sort, so there could be an offer of love that is presented to you. If it's not yet in your life, it could be presented to you within the next 2 weeks as we move into the full moon. Now, the Knight of Cups could also represent an offer of something that is emotionally fulfilling. So think a job, think a home, something that would really be offering emotional joy to you that you can really take and run with, if that makes any sense. But that's a reach. But what I really sense here is that there's likely a person who is very compassionate and loving and offering some sort of emotional offer to you, some emotional fulfillment to you. Lean into it, Cancer. Lean into it. And if you need a relationship reading, you know where to find me. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We've got the Seven of Swords here. This is strategy. Okay, a lot of people, a lot of tarot readers look at the Seven of Swords as deceit and mistrustfulness. I don't even know if that's a word, and mistrust. And betrayal, all of that. I look at the Seven of Swords as strategy. So you've got to be strategic to get to this King of Pentacles energy, okay? So you got to be real smart about how you use your time, how you use your resources, and who you talk to and what about. I'm hearing that you don't need to tell everybody everything, Cancer, but you need to be selective in what you tell people. Not everybody needs to know the play-by-play. Cancer, I hope that's helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well to get a 360 view of your new moon in Leo. I'm going to go ahead and move on to Leo. Thank you so much, and I hope you had a great birthday and enjoyed your birthday season. Bye, Cancer. Leo, I really do love our reading. I really do. I was nervous. I'm always nervous, but I actually really enjoy our reading. What have you released? We have the Lovers. The Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini, in case that is important to you. Now, I'm thinking of released in two ways. Released as in terms of what have you let go, and released in terms of what have you put out in the world energetically. The Lovers represents Gemini, but it also represents companionship, soulmate energy, also represents partnerships, could be business, platonic, or otherwise very similar to the Two of Cups, also represents duality and contracts, and also honoring your values. The Lovers represents values, what is important to you. Now, for me, and for the sake of this reading, I feel that this is a connection for you that you have put out in the world. It could be representative of you letting go of a love interest, perhaps. But based on what I have here in front of me, Leo, I really wouldn't be surprised if you're in a relationship. It could be twofold. It could be twofold. Either you're beginning a relationship or ending one. But if you're a Leo and you're ending a relationship, this feels more like a release than a heartbreak. Okay, just want to make that very clear if you're moving on from a connection. And I wouldn't be surprised if the relationship that you're letting go was maybe a tumultuous one, because it feels like there's peace around this. So let me move on to where you are now. Four of Swords, peace, relaxed, resetting, you're chilling, you're not stressed. I love when I see the Four of Swords, especially if you've got a lot going on, Leo, because to me, this is always a sure sign that you're going to be able to handle whatever you need to get done. You're going to be able to relax. All will be taken care of. Okay. So even if you're not feeling that, but at the time of you're watching this video, within 3 days, you will likely kind of feel that kind of woo-saw energy before the end of July. Okay. What is emerging within you? Three of Wands, next level, advancement, leveling up, waiting on your ships to come in. Three of Wands is often related to travel. But again, it's usually about advancement. You're ready to take flight. You're preparing for the next level. Okay, so this new moon is ushering in a new era for you. And I really do feel that whatever you've gone through these past 6 months, I don't remember when we had the full moon in Leo, I'd have to check. It's usually in January or February, something like that. So whatever you've gone through these past 6 months, Leo, you're now ready to take it to the next level. You're ready to advance. I feel that this is more about, whenever I see the Three of Wands, it's not so much that you're stepping into the next thing, you're preparing to move into the next thing. It's different from the Two of Wands, because the Two of Wands, you're searching, you're looking for opportunity. Whereas the Three of Wands, you have locked in on the opportunity, and now you're just getting your ticket together. You're buying, you're making sure you have your boarding pass, you're making sure you have the right luggage, you're making sure you've got the right contacts. You're putting all the pieces together because you know you're about to level up, and you're just making sure all your ducks in a row. That's what this new moon energy is bringing for you, Leo, okay? What you wish to grow, we've got the Temperance. Temperance does represent the sign of Sagittarius, in case that is important to you. It also represents balance, moderation, and compromise. I was reading this to, I think, Aries as well. The Temperance is also about knowing that, okay, you know that you want to advance your life in some way, but you know that it's going to take time, and you're willing to put in the work that it requires. You're not trying to rush it. You're just in a place where you want to create that balance and that harmony in your life, that alchemy, right? That yin and yang energy a little bit, but you're willing to adjust accordingly is what I sense and feel. So what do you wish to grow? Balance. You want to really improve balance in your life. And if I had to put money on it, because us Leos are so ambitious, you probably want to improve your work-life balance, work a little less, working smarter, not harder kind of thing. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition, we have the World. I did meditate on this a little bit before pressing record, because the World is about major accomplishments, and it's about Sometimes travel, and also Three of Wands. There might be a small portion of you guys who are going to be traveling over this new moon. And if you are, because it is Mercury retrograde, please have your boarding passes printed out. Please have everything that you need to just avoid technology blips, okay? Anyway, the world is major accomplishment, chapters closing, things coming full circle. Integration is like another word associated with the world, but it's like it really is that card where you've gone through everything from the Fool to the Magician to the Empress and the Emperor to the High Priest. You've gone through the whole major arcana, right? You've learned all these major life lessons over these past 6 months. You've gone through it all, and now with this position of how you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition, honestly, I really just feel like it's reflection. I really feel like it's reflection, Leo. I don't think that there's anything else you need to do to bring your goals to fruition right now, as much as it is just basking in the abundance, basking in the, wow, I really did that. Wow, I see why I had to go through all this bullshit these past 6 months. Maybe I'm projecting, I don't know. And I really don't know what's waiting on the other side of me on this new moon. I have an idea, but it's that energy, right? There's nothing left for you to do, I think, is the message for Spirit. I think Spirit is just saying, hey, reflect back on the lessons you've learned as you prepare for what's next for you, as we lead into the energy leading up to the full moon. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goal? We have the Magician. I think this is a reminder for you right now, Leo, especially because we're in Leo season. We're about to enter Lionsgate portal. You need to remember your manifestation power. Okay, yes, we're in a Mercury retrograde in Leo, but don't let that scare you. This is a great time to manifest what you want. You have a lot of support right now with the Magician, calling in your desire, calling in that energy to you, bringing it all to you. I want you to fixate your energy on everything working out for you. Something else I was thinking about when I saw this message on how you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition, it's about operating in expectancy of already achieving the goal. If you knew that whatever you're working towards was already done, how would you be moving? How would you be preparing? If you knew that new car was on its way to you, what would you be doing? Would you be getting like car seat covers, a steering wheel cover? Would you be getting like, smell good stuff for the car? Would you be thinking about where you want to take it to get its first wash and stuff like that? How would you be preparing? If you're preparing for a new apartment, are you looking at furniture? Are you creating your list on Amazon and Wayfair or any other furniture sites? West Elm, maybe. How are you preparing? If you're expecting to move into a relationship, how are you preparing your home for a relationship, right? Are you making space for this person if you want to join lives, right? So think about those things. I'm really happy to see this energy here, Leo. I think this is lovely. If you're watching for your sun sign, please watch your moon and your rising as well to get a 360 view of this new moon for you. I think it's going to be really a nice one. Bye, Leo. Okay, Virgo, here we go. What have you released since the full moon in Capricorn? We've got the Queen of Pentacles energy. Queen of Pentacles is earth sign energy, so I'm happy to see that here for you, Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. The Queen of Pentacles is also quite independent financially. She really knows how to take care of herself. She knows how to take care of the home. She's really got everything on lock. Am I on like cinematic mode? I can't tell, whatever. She's really got everything handled, okay? Now, here's the thing about this energy in terms of what have you released. We're looking at what have you released in terms of what have you let go, and we're also looking at release in terms of what have you put out in the world energetically. So for some of you in terms of let go, perhaps you have let go of someone who is an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or maybe another female or feminine energy, masculine or feminine, who is like very financially independent, or maybe very money hungry, maybe very business oriented. Maybe you've let them go, or there's some connection you've let go in some way. In terms of what you have put out, maybe this is about you bossing up into your Queen of Pentacles era, like really feeling confident and secure financially, taking care of the house, taking care of the home, taking care of the kids, taking care of the job, like just really feeling on top of your shit, right? Where you are now, we've got Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands, now this is energy that is likely to reveal itself within the first 3 days of the new moon. So this is energy of a spark, right? Maybe there's a new passion. Maybe there's a budding relationship. Maybe there's a budding project. Maybe there's a spark of something new creatively that you want to do or pursue or invest in. Is it going to go anywhere? That's up to you, but the spark is presenting itself, okay? This is a little different from the Ace of Pentacles because the Ace of Pentacles is like an offer monetarily for you. Do you want to take it? Do you not? Or something that has potential to grow. Whereas the Ace of Wands is something that could really light you up, something that can fuel your purpose, right? That you have to decide if you want to run with. What's emerging within you? We've got the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Cups. The Five of Cups does represent grief, sadness, loss, and sometimes also depression and the need to be alone. So there may be some grief coming into your life sometime soon. And I'm not convinced that it's entirely yours. This could also be grief in someone close to you. Maybe someone else is grieving in a way. But if you're seeing this, chances are you might enter maybe a brief period of depression. Maybe you've just been going a little bit too hard and maybe it kind of just hits you that you just feel unsupported, and maybe that really stresses you out, okay? Again, there may also just be a need to be alone and maybe just gather your emotions, to sit with some of your emotions. Maybe this new spark comes with a loss in some way. Like, for example, maybe you get a great new job, but now you've got to move away from all your friends and family. It could be a bittersweet situation. What do you wish to grow? We've got the sun here, which is lovely. The sun represents clarity, peace, joy, happiness, very much solar plexus energy. I'm like looking at a bug on my ceiling. Sorry, guys, I keep looking up. And I'm just trying to decide what bug it is. The sun also is connected to children. So this, perhaps if you're family planning, maybe you want to grow children. Maybe that's something on your mind. But the message that I get mostly from this, especially after the appearance of this Five of Cups, is peace. You really want to grow peace in your life. I don't know that you feel enough peace. Just what I'm picking up collectively. You can agree or disagree, completely up to you. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. We've got the King of Swords here. So this is about operating logically, something you thrive at doing. Don't worry about it being the king here. The king can represent masculine and feminine energies of just being really wise, being very sharp, being very intellectual, being seen as an expert on a subject matter. Okay, so in order to get this clarity that you want, this peace that you want, you've got to start to operate a little bit logically, kind of really take the emotions out of the situation here, feel what you feel, but then when you're ready, kind of get back into analytical mode so you can kind of maneuver and change your life around the way that you need to. This could also be an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, that is helpful to you as you more or less redesign your life. We also have the Queen of Wands here in the position of what additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals. I think it's a spider. It's just moving so slow. I just can't tell. Which actually in my spirit animal deck is about make your dreams real. It's like about weaving your dreams into reality. Anyway, Queen of Wands, it's about manifestation. She's very charismatic. She's very alluring. People listen to her when she speaks. And there might be this kind of charismatic energy to you right now that maybe you're stepping into, or maybe just stepping into this very, this very witchy energy of just being able to, flip your wand and get what you want. Like the Queen of Wands is seen as the witch of the tarot. She's very, very, very good at calling in what she wants, especially with her energy, because she's just so likable. Now, in terms of resources, quite literally, this could be a fire sign in your life, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or again, somebody who just happens to be very charismatic, very personable. Maybe they've got really good connections in their life that they can help bring to you to support you. Okay. I hope this is helpful, Virgo. Take a look at your sun, moon. If you're watching for your sun, watch for your moon and your rising as well. to get a 360 view of what to expect in this new moon. For me, it looks like everything is going well, but for some reason, you're just not completely happy, and that's okay. I want you to honor that. You don't have to be perfect all the time, even though I know you try to be. But also you have some people around you to support you. Okay, so lean on those people. I hope that's helpful. I'll see you on the next one, Virgo. Bye. All right, Libra. Okay. Oh, hi, Libra. Okay, so what have you released since the full moon in Capricorn? We have the Chariot. Is this focused? Let's see if that's better. We've got the Chariot. The Chariot does represent the sign of Cancer, but it also represents determination and willpower and fortitude, like bulldozing over your obstacles, right? Now I'm looking at released in terms of what have you let go, and also what have you put out in the world, what have you released. So in terms of let go, maybe you let go of a Cancer in your life, the sign of Cancer, the zodiac sign. Maybe you let go of trying to push something forward. That feels like a reach, but I'm just throwing that out there. To me, this is more about what you have released and put out there in terms of like really wanting to pursue something on your own, or have your own venture or something like that. However, I'm not convinced that it was successful, because where you are now is Three of Swords. And also too, sometimes, before I move on, sometimes what you have released, the Chariot also, to me, sometimes represents moving on. It depends on the context of the reading. So maybe there's something or someone that you've moved on from, like you're looking forward, you're not looking back. So where you are now, we've got the Three of Swords, which represents heartbreak, anguish, sorrow. Now, I don't use reversals in this tarot deck, so there is a possibility that maybe you're coming out of heartbreak and sorrow. Okay. I don't think that's the energy here, though. I think something about this new moon in Leo is causing some disappointment for you, if I'm being completely honest. What is emerging within you is the Two of Swords. We've got some indecision here. Not sure if you want to go. I heard back and forth by Aaliyah. Back, forth, then forth. Like it's, you keep going back and forth over like, do I stay or go? Do I go left or right? Do I go up or down? There's something you're waffling over. Some indecision is kind of really getting your panties in a bunch here. I'm not really sure what you are considering, so it's hard to advise you on what to do. But of course, if you need some guidance, you know where to find me, where all of my links are. So some sort of indecision, some sort of difficult decision you need to make, right? What do you wish to grow? We've got the Death card here. It just really feels like, to me, you just want a situation, some sort of situation to be over and done with. Something I kept hearing with Rihanna. And it's like, I feel like I sing this a lot, but it's from her album Unapologetic. But you keep thundering, thundering. I'm wondering why you keep thundering. Won't you just rain and get it over with? Like, it's such a beautiful song. But I keep hearing that, like, you just want something to be over with. You just want something to be done. The Death card here. The Death card also represents the sign of Scorpio, in case a Scorpio is important to you. So maybe there's something you want to grow with a Scorpio. But to me, again, this is more about you wanting to just let a situation die. Let a circumstance die, so that you can start over. Lots of songs. Now I'm hearing Beyonce. Let's start over. How can you bring your goals and intentions to fruition? King of Cups here. Water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. There is potentially a water sign that can help you through this period, this transition. I'm not even sure that you're going through a transition. I just feel that you're going through an obstacle. This feels like more of an obstacle than it does a transition. King of Cups, how can you bring your goals and intentions to fruition? This is also about balancing your emotions. Like, I feel like part of the indecision here, part of the healing journey here, is because your emotions are like all over the fucking place, and you really gotta like lock in. You really got to lock in your emotions because you might be making some impulsive decisions. I don't have cards here that would suggest impulsivity, but I mean, it's still possible here. I just feel like, Libra, you're probably taking everything day by day. Maybe some days are up, maybe some days are down, but you're just trying to manage your emotions with this King of Cups here. And that's going to be the way that you push through this, that you get towards making this decision. You've got to manage the emotions. I need you to start implementing some rituals, at least for right now. This doesn't have to be something that you do long term unless you really like it, but maybe starting your day with certain affirmations. I remember talking about my therapist with this once, is that, you know, depending on where you are in life, your daily routine gets to change. So maybe in one season, your daily routine looks like waking up, working out, and kind of getting that energy moving. Maybe your daily routine looks like waking up, having a cup of coffee, just sitting in silence, not scrolling your phone. Or maybe it is having a cup of coffee and scrolling TikToks, having a couple laughs. You know, whatever it is that you need to do, and maybe you have a different evening ritual, maybe you do a slow flow or something like that. You need to do something to self-regulate right now, Libra. And I don't know that you have that right now. If you do, great. Evaluate whether or not that's working for you and if you need to change it. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We have the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is about walking away, my love. There's something or someone you need to walk away from. Now, again, I don't use reversals in this deck, so there is a possibility that you need to be giving something another chance, but as I would interpret with the 8 of Cups reversed, but I really don't think that's the message here. There seems to be something or someone you just need to walk away from, considering how what you wish to grow is the Death card. You know, I really feel like you just want something to be done. You just like something is emotionally and mentally exhausting. We've got 2 cups here, 2 swords here, and 2 major arcana. The swords are the head and communication. The cups are the heart and the emotions. And the major arcana, which are these 2 here, are major life, major themes. Okay. So I feel like, Libra, give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience. Once you are able to self-regulate, then you'll be able to move forward with what you, not necessarily what you want to do, because I think you know what you want to do. I think you're struggling with how to go about it, is what I'm seeing. Because there's just so many emotions involved here. Libra, you're not going to be, I feel like the problem is here. You're trying to figure out the solution that doesn't leave anybody hurt. And I don't really see a scenario that you don't. I was on the Hood Healers live not last night, but the night before. And I didn't watch the whole thing, but she was like, not everything is meant to serve you. Like she was talking about how people are always talking about, oh, I'm just releasing what no longer serves me. I'm just releasing what no longer serves me. And she was mentioning that not everything's meant to serve you. And I understood her point immediately, of course. Some things you have to go through or grow through in order to learn from it. And in a way, I do feel that serves you, but I still understood her point. Her point was that people are so quick to deject and rebuke uncomfortable things when in fact we often need to just go through the obstacle so that we can learn from it. And I feel like what you're going through, Libra, is a circumstance that you have to grow through, but you're not going to be able to come out the good guy. Okay? I don't know how this connects, but if you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well, so you can have a 360 view of what to expect for this new moon in Leo. I hope this is helpful. I love you so much. If you want to connect one-on-one, all of my links are below, my love. I'll see you on the next one. All right, Scorpio, what you have released since the full moon in Capricorn, we have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords represents the air signs, Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. This could also represent somebody immature or someone who is still learning and growing. We're looking at released in terms of released of what you've put out in the world and also what you've let go of. So you potentially have let go of an air sign, or potentially have let go of needing to be in a researching phase for some reason. Maybe you've kind of gathered the information you needed and now you're on to the next thing. in terms of what you've released out there, maybe you've positioned yourself as somebody who is learning and growing on a subject matter. Like you've put yourself as out there as like this communicator, maybe if you do social media, or maybe if you're trying to present or position yourself to your colleagues in a certain way. Okay. Where you are now is your power card. Actually, we have the Death card, which does represent the sign of Scorpio. Forever going through a transformation, right? The Death card is death and rebirth. And death typically means ending. So there's some sort of ending that you were at now with this new moon. Usually, maybe ending a relationship, maybe ending a significant chapter, maybe, I don't even want to say a significant chapter because that's more of the world. The Death card is usually something that needed to end that, in my opinion, didn't see its full term. And that might mean different things to different people. But imagine ending a relationship that you thought was going to go the distance and it didn't. Imagine having to put your forever home up for sale or something like that. Something usually that didn't really come together the way that you thought it would. Usually, I think, at least in my opinion, the Death card is usually a surprise. Tell me if I'm wrong. But there's some sort of ending here that you're experiencing. Maybe in your relationships, maybe in your job, maybe in your living situation. We also have the Star in terms of what is emerging within you. I love to see this after the Death card, if I'm being honest, because this represents healing. This represents rejuvenation. It represents taking the time that you need to recover. Okay, so you really are going to be moving into this state of recovery after the appearance of the new moon, give or take 3 days, right? So right before August appears, you're going to be starting to kind of recenter yourself. What you wish to grow, we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which represents abundance, family, legacy, wealth. You're really focused on abundance right now. That might mean something different to you than it does to the next Scorpio, so you determine what this means for you. Maybe legacy is more important for one, while abundance and finances is more important to somebody else. Usually they're connected, legacy and wealth. But you want to grow your money in some way. It's really, really important to you. You want to grow your work situation, your finances, your sense of security, perhaps. How you can bring your goals to fruition. You've got to come out of the anxiety and maybe also start sleeping. I don't know if insomnia is an issue for you, but you've got to figure out a solution to that because you can't build something and you're not rested. Okay? Or if you're allowing yourself to spiral, don't be afraid to seek medication if you feel like you need it, whether that's sleep medication or anxiety medication. I feel like you're at war with yourself and that's preventing you from reaching your goals. Especially the rumination. You're ruminating a lot, Scorpio. And if you don't know what that means, that is like you're dwelling too much on what could happen, you know, and how all the ways something could go wrong. I don't mean to laugh at that, but that's what it means. And that's not helping you. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We have the Hangman. The Hangman is a lot of things. It's about feeling stuck. It's about feeling stagnant, feeling like you're on pause. Maybe you feel like you're waiting on other people for things to move forward. Maybe you feel like your life has been put on pause. Sometimes, again, because I don't use reversals in this deck, sometimes with the Hangman reverse, this could represent maybe feeling like your life has been taken off pause and now things are starting to move forward again. But I also feel like there's just like this message of like needing to go with the flow. You're a fixed sign, so you want things to be a certain way, but I kind of feel like there's something you kind of just need to flow with right now, Scorpio, in order to truly heal the way that you need to. You got to figure out an outlet too. Don't be afraid to journal. I've got some journals on Amazon. Don't be afraid to journal, okay? Do some journaling if you need to. Kind of just do a brain dump. I feel like there's a lot going on. I always see something different and I'm just like, first of all, I'm pretty sure these
photos are like AI generated, sort of, and edited. I'm just looking at one of the other windows on this like mansion. I'm trying to see if there's something significant here, but not really. Scorpio, be gentle with yourself. I feel like you're just way too hard on yourself right now. I feel like you're really hard on yourself and feeling like you should be somewhere that you're not. Like you feel like you should be further along than where you are, but you know, I was about to say some bullshit to you. You know that people say all the time, you are exactly where you're meant to be at this time and space. Okay, like that's cute, but as your fire sign sister, I also feel like that's bullshit. So instead of feeding you that bullshit, if you are exactly where you're meant to be, let's just focus on, okay, you've taken a path that's led you down one way. And instead of beating yourself up for where you're not, you really just need to say, what lessons did I learn? What route can I take now that I've ended one route, one road, one route? What's now available to me? What's next? Because I don't know that I believe in the phrase of, and I'm sure that I've probably said it on my channel at some point or at one point or in time, in terms of you're exactly where you're meant to be, like trust the process. I believe that to an extent. Like I believe that there are certain things we have to go through and learn from, etc. But I also feel like the time we spend there is up to us. And I'm gonna give you a very extreme example. Let's say it's part of your life path to experiment with drugs and you struggle with addiction. Maybe that's part of your journey. Maybe that's part of your soul contract, right? But it's also up to you in terms of how you heal yourself and try to get out of that. Now, that's a really big reach because addiction is, you know, a struggle for a lot of people. But I that's an example of, I don't really believe, oh, you're exactly where you're meant to be. No, I think this is part of that could be part of someone's journey. But how you move through that is largely up to you to move on to the next lesson in your life and the next and that. You know what I'm trying to say? I really hope that's landing. I really hope that's landing. We have a certain level of power within the timeline of our destinies, I guess is what I'm really getting at. I really hope that's making sense. I don't know that I'm putting the right words together, but I hope I'm making sense. Scorpio, this new moon might be uncomfortable for you. I'm sorry to say, but it looks like it's because you're ending a significant thing in your life, but you are also working towards healing. If this is helpful to you, let me know. But if you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well, so you can get a 360 view of what to expect for this new moon in Leo. I hope this is helpful. I love you so much. I'll see you on the next one. All right, Sagittarius, what you've released since the full moon in Capricorn, we have the Tower. Now, I'm looking at released in terms of what have you released out energetically, but also what have you released in terms of let go. So we've got the Tower here, which does represent chaos, upheaval, sudden change. And for me, this is really feeling like you're moving on from that. If there was a whirlwind kind of going on in your life, you know, around the full moon, it feels like, and I don't remember my notes for you around the full moon, but it doesn't matter. You know, this is a new reading. It feels like there's like some chaos that ensued and you're finally like putting it behind you. You've got it settled. To me, that's what it feels like. You kind of put the fire out, okay? This could also be something surrounding your home situation, your physical building, your physical place of residence, or an office maybe. But it just, again, it feels like you've put out a fire in your life in some way. Where you are now, King of Swords. King of Swords is air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, but it's also being very logical, being very clear-headed and wise, being able to be very analytical in your decision-making and devoid of emotional decisions. And I feel like whatever you just walked through, you're now trying to be like, okay, how do I not make that mistake again? How do I be smarter? I feel like you're trying to be smarter about how you move through your life right now, or at least in this season of your life. This could also point towards an air sign if you're dealing with an air sign right now, professionally, romantically, platonically. Maybe they're just taking up a lot of space right now in your life, for good or worse. You know, I would like to think good, but let me know if not. What's emerging within you? We've got the Seven of Swords, which is strategy. At least on my channel, I like to look at it as strategy, but it also represents escapism, deceit, deceitfulness, mistrustworthiness. I really don't, I keep saying that, and I'm not even sure if that's a word, mistrustworthiness, untrustworthy. Okay, but for me, the Seven of Swords is about being strategic, cutting corners, doing what you need to do to get ahead. Very similar to the Five of Swords, but being a little bit more stealthy about it, right? So you're trying to advance in some way without letting, what is it? What's the old saying? You're trying to not let your right hand know what your left hand is doing. I feel like that's kind of what you're moving into with this new moon in Leo, trying to make some moves without letting everybody know your business. What do you wish to grow? We've got the Knight of Cups here. Water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Also represents a love interest. So maybe there's a romantic connection you'd like to grow. Maybe you yourself would like to become more romantic or invite more love into your life. Separate from relationships, the Knight of Cups represents a feeling of romanticism, not even just in relationships, but just in your life. So maybe you want to invite more romanticism, more whimsy in your home life, in your professional life, or maybe just your day-to-day. You just want to like kind of create those good vibes, just create more emotional fulfilling experiences for yourself, right? But I really would put this more towards a relationship. If I had to put money on it, I'd feel like you want to improve your love life in some way. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. I feel like there's some accountability you need to own up to, Sagittarius. Especially if this is connecting to your relationship, I feel like you need to answer to some bullshit that you did. Like, let's say you were a cheater, right? And maybe you got caught, but you don't want to leave your partner and they don't want to leave you. You got to own up to that shit. You got to just say, hey, yeah, I fucked up. How are we going to fix it? I know it's not that simple, but I'm trying to water it down. There's some accountability you need to take here if you want to improve your life that way. If you want to be more forthright and be more emotionally available and being more honest in your relationships, you've got to answer for how you've acted in the past. If you've done some bullshit. And most Sagittarius have. Separate from that, this could also be needing to make an important decision. Like the Judgment represents awakening and like answering the call in some way. This could even be about maybe finally making a decision to propose to somebody or to get engaged. Like finally deciding, okay, I'm going to commit to this person. It's like a feeling of something being time, you know? What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We've got the Sun, clarity, peace, happiness, joy. Also represents children as well. So I feel like you're ushering in this new era of peace over your life with this new moon in Leo, especially it's a fellow fire sign. But in order to get there, you've got to be real with yourself. You're being real with yourself in a way that I don't think you have in a very long time. To just like really look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, this is where I am, this is where I want to go, but I'm going to have to be honest with the people in my life in this way if I really am going to create this life of joy, this life of peace. And stop and really kind of be smart about how I get there, right? That's what's coming through for me, Sagittarius. If this is connecting, let me know. And if you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well to get a 360 view of the new moon in Leo. Drop some comments below. I love to read them. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, Sagittarius. Capricorn, I love this reading for you so much. I couldn't wait to press record. I just don't feel like I've had a reading for you like this in a very long time. I don't know when I've had a reading for you this positive. I feel like I don't always have positive readings for you, but this is pretty good. Okay, what have you released? We have the Death card. The Death card, it represents Scorpio in case a Scorpio is important to you. And I'm looking at released in terms of what have you let go, but also released in terms of what you've put out in the world, right? So the Death card represents Scorpio. So maybe you've let go of a Scorpio, or maybe you've put out this kind of energy of transformation, as the Death card does represent transformation and rebirth. There's something, I also just feel like there's some sort of ending in general that you went through. Maybe finally making peace with something that needed to die or needed to end. Okay.
I feel like you put something behind you. There's really an energy of you putting something behind you for me, of like maybe like a friendship that ended, or maybe a relationship or a job that ended, and you're just like, you know what, I'm over it, I'm moving it on, I've let it go, it is what it is. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on. Where you are now, we've got the Two of Cups, which is divine partnership, soulmate energy, unions, okay, like two peas in a pod. And this is making me feel like your love life and your relationships are really, really good. Now, if you're single, the Two of Cups often represents business partnerships or friendships. It could also represent the connection with your higher self. Maybe you're feeling very aligned and maybe feeling like very centered right now at this time. But most often, this card does point towards romantic connections. So it feels like if there's a special someone in your life, you're really focusing on that relationship. I love to see that here and wanting it to grow. What is emerging within you? The Lovers, which is I love when I see the Two of Cups and the Lovers here. This is divine connections, truly, when you see the Lovers and the Two of Cups next to each other. Okay, this is soulmate energy. Okay. Now, what is emerging within you? If you're elevating this Two of Cups, this smitten energy into a real lasting bond, right, Capricorn? I love to see with the new moon in Leo here. Don't worry about it being a retrograde, even though it's, hold on, what am I trying to say? Don't worry about starting a new relationship, even though it's Mercury retrograde. That used to be something I really didn't like to do. And I was telling my client this the other day. I used to not like to date during a Mercury retrograde because I'd be like, oh, I don't want to date because I just know it's not going to last. And then I really had to think one day, and I was like, and the relationships you've started outside of Mercury retrograde lasted, Whitney, like cut it the fuck out. And so it really allowed me to kind of let that go and just decide, you know what, let me use Mercury retrogrades more as a time to revisit how can I show up in my dating life differently versus being fearful of what won't come to fruition. So don't be afraid to start new relationships in a retrograde, as you may just be approaching relationships differently than you have in the past, okay? But to me, it's really feeling like there's some significant partnership or union or connection in your life that is being strengthened under this new moon in Leo. Love to see it here. What you wish to grow, Magician. And I think this is your ability to, this is about your ability to call in what you want and what you desire. Your manifestation powers. I feel like you really, really, really want to just be able to like snap your fingers like, I want this and I want that. But I also feel like because you're so, Capricorn, you're so like practical and so, you're such a realist that you don't really allow yourself to lean into the whimsy. But I think with you being kind of wrapped up in this love affair right now, you're kind of leaning into the whimsy a little bit. Maybe your partner is like, teaching you how to go with the flow, how to be more open to possibility and being open to the magnetism of the universe, just bringing things that you desire. Maybe this connection kind of came out of nowhere for you, especially if it's new. If you're in a committed relationship already, this again to me is a strengthening of a bond. And I really feel like you want to be able to just call in certain things in your life without having to do so much. That's really what this Magician energy is, like really just being able to say, you know what, I think I'd like a glass of wine. And the next thing you know, somebody comes, oh, would you like a complimentary glass of wine? Like it's just tapping into the little things like that, you know, and just kind of like really being able to manifest your world, your desire, right? Desires, without having to feel like you always have to do something. You just get to be and attract. And I think that's what you're leaning into. How can you bring your goals and intentions to fruition? We've got the Knight of Swords here. It does represent air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So there is potentially an air sign that could be helpful to you in this period. The Lovers does also represent the sign of Gemini, in case that's important, Capricorn. The Knight of Swords likes to go fast. So there's about something here moving quickly. I don't use reversals in this deck, so maybe, I always caution anybody about moving fast with anything. But this is kind of a message of like, act now, think later a little bit. I don't, and I think this is coming up for you, Capricorn, because even in your relationships and whatever is coming to you right now, I think you need to allow yourself to not overthink it. And I think that's why the Knight of Swords is here. Just go with it.
kind of be cautiously optimistic. Don't do anything completely fucking idiotic. But don't overanalyze it. Don't try to figure out people's hidden motives and why. Just if it feels right, trust it. And if you get that feeling of, I don't know, trust that as well. There's a balance between what I always tell people, that feeling of like, oh, I shouldn't do this is like a loud whisper. It's a loud whisper of like, I don't think you want to get in that car with that person. It's just like you kind of have that feeling like, oh, I don't know, I should do this. And you quickly dismiss it. You're like, it's fine, whatever. But really, it's that intuition, that sixth sense. Whereas, and then you get in the car with somebody and boom, you're in an accident. It's crazy. Whereas like the anxiety will force you to obsess. What if I get in the car and what if you get in an accident and it's like a mess and da 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 da. That's just your anxiety, okay? And that you can calm down. And I think that's probably what you're leaning into. But when that quiet intuition of, I don't think we should get in this car, and you easily dismiss it, don't dismiss that. That little loud whisper, we want to listen to that. The anxiety thoughts of, oh my God, if I get in the car, it's like, they just said they took it to the shop, da da da, I don't know. Those thoughts, those ruminating thoughts, that's your anxiety, and you need to just relax. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Go with the flow, Capricorn. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? 5 of Swords. Love when I see this. Winning at all costs. Hard-won victory. Not giving up. Especially when it comes to your relationships, again, with the 2 of Cups and the Lovers here, there's really this sense here, Capricorn, that you're being protected in a way. As long as you don't give up, your angels aren't giving up. That's powerful. As long as you keep pushing forward, so will your angels. That's a bar. That's a bar. I hope that was helpful. Let me know what's going on in your love life or in your life overall, where this connection might be for you. Is it business? Is it platonic? Is it marriage? Is it a new relationship? Let me know what's going on. There might even be a small select few people who ended like a long-term relationship and then end up meeting their soulmate. Like, I don't know. Let me know if that's connecting. I hope this is helpful. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch your moon and your rising as well, so you can get a 360 view of this new moon in Leo. I hope this is helpful. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, Aquarius, I think I'm recording. Yes. What have you released since the full moon in Capricorn? We've got the 3 of Wands. And when I say released, I'm thinking about release in terms of what have you put out, what energy have you put out, but also release in terms of what have you let go. Okay, so the 3 of Wands is leveling up. It's waiting on your ships to come in, or in this case, in this imagery, waiting to take flight. So maybe there was a period within these past 2 weeks, this full moon in Capricorn, where you were kind of waiting for things to align. You know, the 3 of Wands is almost kind of like the expectation card. You know that you're about to get on a flight. You're just waiting. You're just at the gate boarding, right? Or preparing to board. I feel that this is more about the energy you've put out, because I don't think this is about something you've released. You've put out that expectancy, Aquarius, of like waiting to board your flight, waiting to ascend to that next level, that next stage for you, right? And maybe this is even just like, I just got an email from one of my Aquarius clients, and maybe this is even more about you moving on from something, like ascending and moving on from something, than it is about you advancing your life. Does that make sense? Like for me, like for a couple years ago, LOL. Last year, some of you guys know that I was in Georgia helping my parents out. So maybe the 3 of Wands could be like, you're expecting to, for me, this could have been interpreted as me expecting to go back home, if you will. It's not necessarily that I was waiting to advance my life, but I was waiting to move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So you've moved through that energy, and now we're in this place of King of Cups. Okay, Aquarius. King of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Is this focusing? Is it focusing? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, also representative of emotional balance and contentment. I feel that this is about you finally feeling like your emotions are a little bit more stable than they have been, or maybe you're trying to get there. The King of Cups also has compassion for their family. They hold space for a lot of people while also trying to manage their own emotions. They are the leader of their family, of their clan, but really, really, really compassionate in the way that they lead. You know what I mean? What is emerging within you? We've got the King of Pentacles. Love to see this here. Did Leo get this or Cancer get? I think Cancer got this. Cancer got this as well, of moving into this state of security. With the King of Pentacles, this is Earth sign energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So, but with this card of like what you're emerging into is usually an energy, but this could represent maybe a Earth sign coming into your life and you really connecting strongly with them. But I think this is an advancement of your finances. And going back to the King of Cups for a second, where you are now, there could be a water sign that's important to you, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, that you're giving a lot of time and attention to. So I love to see that we have two kings here. You know, there's actually a message in that, and I haven't looked this up in a really long time, but I just thought about it. I'm going to look it up real quick. Numerology and tarot. What it means, I've got to like bookmark. What it means, for example, when you have two kings in a reading. This isn't it. It's another one. Tarot combinations. Is that the one? Two kings. I have two kings, yes. Two kings pairings. Success. It's just like literally just one word. Two, but you also have two fives here. Let's look at that. Two fives, which I haven't gotten to. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Two fives. Drama, conflict, need to exercise emotional control. Not surprised here because of the King of Cups. Okay? All right, let's go back to your reading. So there's this energy here of you now having emotional balance, but also moving into abundance, okay? Now, also, again, we got that water and earth energy, so I love to see that. That represents, that's a really good combination, water and earth. What you wish to grow is Five of Swords, a hard-won victory, winning at all costs. Maybe something you've been working at for a while that's really been draining you, maybe causing a lot of stress. Maybe that's been a fight. Usually it's been a fight. The Five of Swords does represent conflict. So maybe this is about you wanting to resolve a conflict. It's just been a long road to get there. You being maybe exhausted. But the first thing I thought when I saw this as well was like that you're tired. Like you've been fighting for something for a while and you're tired. How you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. We've got the Five of Wands here, which is competition, okay, and wanting to prove yourself. There's an energy here of needing to put yourself out there, Aquarius, and really needing to fight for whatever it is that you're reaching for. You can't just, I don't think that you are, I just think you're tired. Because I started to say you can't just like rest on your ass and expect things to come. I don't think you're resting on your ass. I just think you're exhausted. But I do feel like you kind of have to keep going. I don't have the Nine of Wands here, and I don't have the Strength card here. Those are two cards that represent perseverance, right? But I do feel like there's this energy here of not giving up and needing to like do whatever it takes to kind of see something through. Okay. What additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We've got the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups represents fantasy. It represents exploring your options, sometimes daydreaming, sometimes head in the clouds. And I think maybe there's an energy here of needing to be realistic and keeping one foot on the ground and also not getting overwhelmed by choices and options here. I do feel with the five, how you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. I do think there is some overwhelm of like options and choice, etc. So I get it. I just feel like you're trying to figure out where best to place your energy. And I think you need to be careful to not spin your wheels, you know? The good thing is you're moving into security. I started to say the bad news, but there is no bad news. Like when I think of the Five of Wands in the other deck, like the traditional deck, it's like all these people with these sticks kind of like fighting each other a little bit. But I actually see that almost similarly to the Three of Pentacles in terms of how you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. I feel like you need to kind of rally the troops in some way. That's like kind of a message that's coming through. Let me see how off base or on base I am. It's not a typical message of the Five of Wands, but maybe. Conflict, disagreements, competition, tension, diversity. See? The Five of Wands and here, look. The Five of Wands in terms of how you can bring your goals and intentions to fruition. The Five of Wands encourages an enthusiastic approach to change. Transition or even transformation is coming whether you not, I can't read. Transition or even transformation is coming whether or not you like it. Your challenge will be in ensuring that everyone is on the same page and dealing with this shift constructively and positively. Currently, your group's energy is scattered and by misdirected. I really can't read tonight. Currently, your group's energy is scattered by misdirected enthusiasm. Everybody has ideas, but no one is there to bring them into a logical path forward. Your role may be in identifying a clear strategy and purpose that can be implemented by all involved. And this is why it's important to have a really good tarot reader, because you see how I know my tarot? I'm thinking about the imagery of the traditional tarot deck of Why is it the bottom of the deck? Because I was meant to show you. That's why. Because I was meant to show you. You see how everybody's fighting for like, space. And that's why I said I feel like your mission here is to rally the troops. You need to get everybody on the same page. Going back to competition, everybody has a say so, but you got to get everybody on the same page, babe. And it's going to take some work. But your goal is to take everybody's ideas, funnel them, and make sense of it. Because I do feel like you're in a position of leadership right now, Aquarius. So I feel like you're responsible for making sure, because you're the fixed sign, so of course it makes sense for you to organize everybody's thoughts and ideas. You're going to have to take it all, sift it through and, get the meat and potatoes out of everybody's ideas and go from there. But your main goal is to not get overwhelmed, because I do feel like you're tired. Okay. I hope this is helpful, Aquarius. Watch your moon and your rising as well for a 360 view of what to expect for this new moon in Leo. And I, of course, will see you on the next one. Bye, Aquarius. All right, Pisces. Boop, 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 boop. What have you released? And I'm looking at released in terms of what have you released energetically since the full moon in Capricorn, and what have you released in terms of let go of. Now, we have the Fool here, which is new beginnings, fresh starts. Now, when I look at this in this spread, I really do see the Fool as kind of like you're no longer at the beginning of a journey. You've like started. Now, as I was shuffling, the Ace of Pentacles popped out. So this does feel like maybe there's a new beginning for you that started in your work life, or maybe some opportunity that you're exploring. Okay. And in terms of released, maybe there was an opportunity you were going to go with and you didn't take it. I do think that's unlikely, but I'm just putting it out there in case that resonates for you. It's more so for me that you've energetically put out the desire to start a new venture or to pursue a money-making opportunity with the Fool and the Ace of Pentacles here. Sorry, I'm like, where you are now is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups does represent family, relationships, people you grew up with, close connections, the good old days, reminiscing. Maybe you find yourself being very nostalgic right now with this new moon in Leo, okay, or revisiting the past in some way. The Six of Cups also represents apologies, so maybe you might be apologizing to someone or receiving an apology maybe. There's a lot of reflection happening here, though, of the past. Maybe you're wanting to do things differently with this new moon in Leo energy. What is emerging within you? We have the High Priestess, using your intuition. Now, you as a Pisces, in my personal opinion, are always super intuitive. And of course, just like everyone, maybe you have moments where you feel like your intuition isn't as strong as it usually is. But I do feel that coming into this new moon here, with the High Priestess, this is a message that the veil will be thin between you and the spirit world. So any intuitive hits, any intuitive nudges that you receive over the next 2 weeks, I really want you to tap in. I really want you to listen to them. Pay attention to your dreams, okay? I really want you to pay attention to them. I had a dream last night that I was on like a live stream for the UK. It was really interesting, like a internet live stream, and I was doing mediumship readings for the UK, but it was kind of like interesting because the production was kind of clunky, but it was like a lot of people. I remember that. So I was like, oh, I wonder if I do have some things kind of in the works with maybe the UK, but I wonder if that will evolve. So just really pay attention to your dreams right now, okay? Especially because you rule dreams, Pisces. That intuitive energy is growing within you, those intuitive nudges. And maybe you're being called to lean into the spiritual in some way. Maybe you're wanting to grow a spiritual practice for yourself or for others, okay? Lean into it. What do you wish to grow? We've got Queen of Pentacles here, Earth sign energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Maybe there's a desire for you to grow your finances independently, wanting to really be self-made in a way. The Queen of Pentacles is, for me, the working mom. She's got her job, everything's good, the house is good, the kids are good. So you're wanting to maybe grow that balance while also being able to earn and make a living for yourself and be very secure yourself, while also still being very nurturing and loving. How you can bring your goals and intention to fruition. Page of Cups. Page of Cups does represent water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So there may be a water sign that is important to you over these next 2 weeks. The Page of Cups does also represent people who are younger than you. So maybe someone who's younger. It also represents being vulnerable emotionally. So the first thing I thought when I saw this was you opening yourself up emotionally, being vulnerable, especially if you're wanting to put yourself out there spiritually, on social media or something. There's a vulnerability you're going to have to tap into and be comfortable with people being or seeing you or seeing your content or seeing your work. Okay? What additional resources are available to you as you what additional resources are available to you as you manifest your goals? We've got Justice here, which does represent the sign of Libra, in case a Libra is important in your life. But this also represents balance. This also represents karma, getting what you deserve, a rebalancing of the scales. Justice being served, maybe quite literally if you're dealing with any legal issues. But also I really see this as actually something being in your favor administratively, Pisces. If there's something that you want to get done, like whatever maybe new venture you want to start, there's something legally or something, some government assistance or some program, a company program that can be helpful to you is what I'm seeing. Something that is codified, a benefit that you didn't know was available to you is what I'm seeing as an additional resource for you. This does feel like it may be legal to me though. Like think food stamps, think disability, think veterinary affairs. I'm trying to think beyond that. Think workers' compensation. I don't know. It feels like some benefit is available to you to help you grow these finances and help you call in that financial independence. So that's what I'm seeing for you. I hope this is helpful, Pisces. Watch your moon and your rising as well for a 360 view of what to expect for this new moon in Leo. As always, it's a pleasure reading for you. If you want to connect with me further, all of the links are below. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Bye, Pisces.